Okay, welcome to the EcoBiz show, where you can get ideas to grow your business and make it greener. And I'm very excited today to be joined by Jannine Barron, and we're talking about regenerative strategy for your business. So a bit of a mouthful there. Anyway, welcome, Jannine. Great to have you on the show.
Thank you, Karen. Terrific to be here.
So Jannine supports business leaders who know that climate change is at the heart of every decision that we make, and helps people create a business experience and legacy they can be proud of. So straight into it then, why regenerative?
Yeah.
What does that mean and why? Yeah.
Okay, so most people are familiar with the term sustainability, and that's a journey I've been on since 1988 in my life, and in my businesses since 1998. So I've been doing this for a long time. You know, I've pioneered 4 different businesses. We've taken cradle to grave across products, and sustainability was always the core. But inherently in the word sustainability is sustain. And I guess there was a disappointment that we weren't really getting anywhere, and we weren't really getting to the point where we could heal the planet and give back yet. So I'd been on a personal journey, and then I came across this philosophy around regeneration, and it just exactly replicated the journey I was at. So what I realized, because I fell into business mentoring, because people kept calling me and asking for advice, which I loved, is that if I was going to help people, I had to do this differently. I had to do it in a way that was going to, meet the targets of the Paris Agreement, which is a world that is never over 1.5 degrees. And to do that, it means business was a massive part of that change. So I defined frameworks to help people. Yeah.
Yeah. And why is a holistic and conscious approach to this kind of business and environmental awareness, no longer choice? It's a must, as you say.
Yeah, well, if you look at, how we got to where we are, there was a certain paradigm, which is, just a way of understanding the world and a way of operating. Well, that clearly hasn't been working. So we need to embrace new paradigms. And part of that is to think differently, to feel differently, to connect with nature, and for nature to always be one of the stakeholders in any decision we make. So it's providing a new way for people to embrace the important changes that we need.
Definitely. That's brilliant. So what are some of the tools? I know you've got some really great tools and frameworks that you use when you're working with businesses. Things, and I know I sort of had a look and spoken before when it's, talking about kind of build, grow and scale. So is there something that you can kind of offer the audience that can help?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think it's interesting you say that, because I did used to use that kind of language, which is very much the old business, is like, build a business, grow a business, scale your business. Now, we still want to achieve those things, but there's something that feels kind of off about that old language now. What we want to do is create a business that gives us an amazing life, that contributes to the planet, and that allows us to leave a legacy that we know that whether we have children or not, that our friends' great-grandchildren will inherit a planet that is healthy. So how does that relate to what we're doing now in business? So first of all, I went on the journey myself, and I had to create the frameworks for my own journey. Then I began to share them. So I have 3 key frameworks. I do have multiple regenerative frameworks, but the first one is what I call the HEART method. And this came about really by mistake. It started with the HAT method, which is habits, get good habits, take action in a certain time frame, which is a very classic old paradigm way of looking at things. But what I realized was what really was the game changer for people and the planet was energy and our environment. So that's how the E came in. And then the ability to receive, because we've all grown up in a society with different stories about our ability to be successful or not. We have stories around money, around whether, we have the right to have things. And so helping people cultivate this energy of receiving. So the letters just kind of fell in, and I realized it spelled heart. And since heart is the way we need to be operating in the world, it was just this beautiful moment. So I take people through the HEART method. And then there's 2 other key frameworks. One is what I call the personal energy imprint. And even as I say that word, I get shivers. It's just like this powerful way to imprint the right resonance for your own life, whether that's how you want to live, where you want to live. There you are on a boat today, how you want to connect with nature, how you create joy in your life in a sustainable way. And then there's the business energy blueprint. And rather than a business plan, although I do call it a one-page business plan as well. I'm like, let's mock up this business on one page and actually imprint the energy of what you want the planet and people to receive from it. So rather than it just being like goal focused and only about money, obviously those things are in that imprint, but the blueprint allows you to bring the energy of what you want for the world and all the beauty and the gifts that you want people to receive. So it's quite a beautiful, much more gentle approach, and very resonant for anyone who feels a little bit lost right now, who wants to contribute to the world, but they don't want these kind of rah-rah old paradigms. So that's just a little taste of some of the names and what they do. And then I take people on deep journeys. So there's some programs that go for 3 months. Sometimes we go for 6 months. And next year there'll be a very deep regenerative journey that I run. And that's going to be really kind of life-changing, taking that time out. So, yeah, it's such a privilege, this work. Yeah.
Oh, and that's a sort of leadership as well, isn't it? You're getting people to run their business, but also becoming a kind of leader in their field, so that they have a lot more impact in the world, isn't it?
Yeah. And again, not the old paradigm that there's a leader and there's people underneath you. We all have to be leaders. We all have to step into the energy of leading, whether it's just us by ourselves, or whether you're in a team of people, or whether you're in a large corporation. But the strategy is key, and part of strategy is like, how do I want to lead? How do I want to leave impact in this world? And how will I operate? How will I make money without there being any harm? And in fact, not just no harm, but how do I give back in that process? And we have to start with that. We have to start with that and then work out what that looks like. And there's a whole lot of personal challenges and practical challenges that come up on the way. And that's why being in a supportive environment can help you get through it. And the other side
Brilliant.
is empowering.
Yeah, no, that sounds amazing. And I totally agree with you, that whole regenerative versus sustainability. I mean, I heard it quite a while, quite a few years back when I was doing a permaculture course, and
beautiful.
The whole sustain thing was like, no, well, actually, you don't want to sustain what you're currently doing, and you don't want the world to sustain what it's currently doing. You have to change it and mix it up and turn it upside down, and a completely different way. So I just love this whole approach that you've got in that heart method and everything. I think it's fantastic. And I know you're doing,
because permaculture is literally, because regenerative comes from the land. It is literally a land word. Given to us basically by indigenous nations and farmers to some extent. So the fact that you've done permaculture, that is like almost like the perfect social balance system. And if we can apply that in a garden to our businesses, that's incredible. Yeah.
Definitely. There's a lot to learn from nature and from all of that. So I know you've got, people can find you at JannineBarron.com, and I know you've got an amazing newsletter that you're sort of sending out all these masterclasses and webinars and things that you're doing. So do people just go and sign up on your website, JannineBarron.com?
Yeah, I think the website's the best place to probably connect with me, and I really invite anyone who's anything today has resonated with to just have a conversation. But yeah, the website's the best place. If people are listening today, it's 11:11, one of my favorite times. If I was listening today, I am running a strategy workshop tomorrow morning, Wednesday, the 13th of July. But otherwise, I run them 4 times a year. I like to make my work accessible in groups. But yes, reach out for a regenerative conversation through the website. Thanks, Karen.
Yeah, and definitely, and I know you're on LinkedIn as well. So so if people are watching this, there's more details below. You can get in touch with Jannine. So finally, before we go off, what is your top eco tip?
Okay. I'm really excited about the sharing economy at the moment. I think it's a really dynamic, innovative business model, and I'm meeting some incredible leaders who are making great profit and great impact. So right now, as I'm talking to you, I'm in a house sit. This is part of the sharing economy. So I come and look after someone's pet and in their home, and they get to go on holiday and so there's no money exchanged. It's a sharing system, but everyone benefits. There's other ones like Tent Share, and there's care homes, and there's Rent My, and there's a whole bunch of amazing, and it's all about sharing rather than buying and producing. And this has a massive impact on the supply chain worldwide. So yeah, have a look at the sharing economy. And if you just want to reach out and ask me for some referrals, I'm really happy to do that. Amazing.
Fantastic. Yeah, I've heard of it, and actually Norwich, where I was based before moving onto the boat, is a sharing city. So
great.
yeah, it's sort of looked into a little bit, and I know people are trying to do sort of trading and work. I mean, I've done that throughout my work life, trading services for services. And also you could hire tools and that share tools amongst each other rather than buying a new one just for yourself. So yeah, definitely get in touch with Jannine.
If you buy a drill, they reckon the average drill is only used for 13 minutes. So don't buy one, borrow one, share it.
Yes, love it. Okay, well, it's time to end off. Thank you so much, Jannine, for joining me. And to our viewers and listeners, please do get your comments below or get in touch with me, get in touch with Jannine, and do sign up to her email and check out her upcoming webinars and courses and masterclasses. And of course, follow her journey on this regenerative leadership and strategies for your business, because she's got some amazing stuff to share, and I'm sure, can take your business to a new dimension. So thank you so much, Jannine, and pleasure to have you on the show. Take care, everyone. Broadcast.